Hello, good morning. Live sa March. Okay. So hello guys, good morning. So actually I am requested by former students to have a short discussion about how to earn ranking points in DepEd. So every year DepEd is opening new slots for teaching, and as usual, you have to undergo the same process. In so It's not enough that you are a holder of a bachelor's degree and you pass the licensure examination for teachers, because there are certain requirements that you have to pass and you have to possess in order to be qualified for a ranking. And when you are ranked, it does not mean that if you undergo the process, it does not mean that you would be given a slot or an item automatically. There are still certain requirements that you have to successfully hurdle, and you have to wait. So it is a waiting game. So I was lucky enough that in my second time in DepEd, I was easily right after the ranking period, uh, uh, before before the start of the school year, I was given an item already. So I would be talking to you. I would be sharing to you certain tips on how to earn ranking points. So DepEd hiring guidelines for the school year 2020 2021. Okay. So the Department of Education, or DepEd, recognizes that the success of any education system greatly relies on the competence of its teachers. Hence, one of the primary issues the department aims to address through its comprehensive implementation of the K-12 basic education program is the need for highly competent teachers in public elementary and secondary schools, including the senior high school. The program plans to achieve this objective through significantly improving professional standards that will better ensure that the teachers hired are able to substantially contribute to the development of lifelong learners. Furthermore, the hiring system is also set to provide opportunities for the absorption of all qualified volunteers and LGU hired teachers in the national Pentilia. So this is based on Debit Order number 7 series of 2015. Okay, so kindly browse the Debit Order that I mentioned. Okay, so for a while, because I will be looking for, let's- so as what I told you, it is not enough that you possess a bachelor's degree from college, a teaching institution, either in from a college or a university or even from a community school, and you have a license. There are teaching license. There are must possess. Okay. Oh, well. Okay. So starting school year 2015 to 2016, so this guideline is being implemented. So this guidance, which will apply to the filling up of newly created or natural vacancies for teacher one positions in public elementary, including kindergarten and secondary schools, including senior high school, shall cover the following areas or aspects. Okay. First is we have to define certain terminologies. Okay, so here's a scope. First is the announcement of vacancies and receipt of applications. So in the new normal, starting 11 October, there's already an announcement of vacancies and the call for the acceptance of applications. But in the new normal, it's not yet set. So you have to wait for the announcement of vacancies and the start of the application period. But later, in my discussion, I would be giving you certain tips on how to fill in the necessary points based on the criteria set by DepEd. Then second is you have to you have to verify there is this next to the announcement of vacancies is the verification and validation of documents submitted. So you would submit your application to a school, okay, a specific school, and then there is a committee there that would look into your documents for verification and validation. So it's not automatic that your application would be accepted because there are certain steps that your application will undergo for verification and validations. So there are cases that the committee would ask for additional paper or additional requirements. Okay, and you have to submit those lacking documents for your application to be accepted. And then next is the evaluation and selection of qualified applicants. So here there is this district committee for the initial evaluation and selection of qualified applicants. And after that, the process would go higher to the division office. So it is the division office personnel who would do the final evaluation and selection of the qualified applicants. So in this part here, in this phase of your application, so you would be interviewed, you would be having your demonstration teaching and the verification of the skills that you possess. And then after that, there is the appointment of qualified applicants. Okay, so there would be a release of the list of qualified applicants, or they are registered qualified applicants, so RQA. So only those with 70 uh, points and above would be part of that RQA. The next is the monitoring of the division office compliance with hiring guidelines by the regional office. That is the general scope. So let's define certain terminologies. Okay, because these are necessary. The terms are necessary, meaning you have to understand these terms so that it could help you understand the hiring process. First, applicant. So applicant refers to a person who holds a valid certificate of registration or professional license as teacher from the Professional Regulation Commission or PRC seeking to be appointed to a teacher one position. But because of the hiring process, the unique hiring process and requirement in the senior high school, any graduate of a bachelor's degree from a licensed tertiary school can apply to a teaching one position in the senior high school, like commerce graduate, agriculture, engineering, nursing, poli law, and other bachelor's degree, and even doctors and lawyers. So, bona fide or bona fide residence refers to an applicant who has been residing for at least 6 months at the barangay, municipality, city, or province in which the school being applied to for a teaching position is located. This is found in the PDS or the CSE Form 212 and a voter's identification card or any proof of residency as deemed acceptable by the school screening committee. An applicant who has taught as an LGU-funded teacher, kindergarten volunteer teacher, or substitute teacher for at least one school year in the barangay, municipality, city, or province where the school being applied to for a teaching position is located shall also be considered as bona fide resident to be validated by a certificate of employment. Locality refers to the barangay, municipality, city, or province where the school being applied for is located. Qualified applicant refers to an applicant who has been screened and who therefore meets the evaluation and selection criteria used by the school's division as provided for in the enclosed guidelines. Then the RQA, this is really very important. So what is the meaning of the registry of qualified applicants? This refers to the official list of applicants who obtain an overall score of 70 points and above based on the criteria set and as a result of the evaluation and selection process. So this is really very important. As an applicant, you should know what is the criteria. So you have to understand fully every criterion in the criteria because you have to fill in as much as possible all the criterion in the criteria for you to be able to reach the 70 points. Okay. So this is the usual process set by DepEd for Teacher 1 application process and requirements. All applicants shall register to the department's online system where they must encode your personal data sheet and select the division where they want to be ranked. Once submitted, an applicant number will be issued. In the submission of application requirements, this number must be indicated. This is in the old normal. But in the new normal, we're still waiting for the new process. Applicants shall submit to the head of elementary or secondary school where a teacher shortage or vacancy, regular or natural, exists, a written application with the applicant number indicated, supported by the following documents. So these are the documents. Number one is the CSC Form 212, revised 2018 in 2 copies with latest 2x2 ID picture. This is this can be downloaded in the website of the CSC. And then a certified photocopy of PRC professional identification card or a PRC certification showing the teacher's name, let rating, and other information recorded in the PRC office. Third is a certified photocopy of ratings obtained in the licensure examination for teachers or LET, or the professional board examination for teachers or PBET. Then certified copy of transcript of records. So if you are an earner, a qualifier, so meaning you enrolled in 18 units, professional education subjects, you must also submit the latest copy of your transcript. Copies of service records, performance rating, and school clearance for those with teaching experience. Then, certificates of specialized training, if any. This is really very important, especially in the senior high school, because every certificate is to be evaluated and given points. In some cases, some division offices would also require you to demonstrate the skill. Then certified copy of the voter's ID or any proof of residency as deemed acceptable by the school screening committee. Or any substitute that would show or that would testify that you are indeed a resident of the place where you claim to be a resident. Then NBI clearance. In omnibus certification of authenticity and veracity of all documents submitted, signed by the applicant. This is also can be downloaded in the DepEd website. The applicant assumes full responsibility and accountability on the validity and authenticity of the documents submitted, as evidenced by the omnibus certification of authenticity. And take note, any violation will automatically disqualify the applicant from the selection process. So you should be honest. Okay? Do not fake or do not claim, especially residency and trainings, because it can be what? It can be verified by just asking the training school or the barangay captain of the authenticity of the certificate. And it's easy to reach out to those training institutions due to the social media platforms. Okay, so here is the evaluation and selection procedure and criteria. Applicants shall be evaluated using the following criteria. First is education, which is worth 20 points. So maximum points is 20, and this would be awarded to an applicant with with at least a master's degree that is worth 20 points. Or no, not a master's degree, but a PhD or EDD related to his or her bachelor's degree. So those with bachelor's degree is given 10, and then teaching experience. Okay, for a while because I have a visitor. Okay, so I break for a while because I got a visitor. So the engineer of our construction in the new school site of Dr. Cecilio Potong National High School. Yeah, hi Ernest. I have a new haircut. So we talk about the hiring process. So education is 20 points. I was because when I reapplied for a deep ed teaching position, I was already holder of Doctor of Education degree, so I was given 20 points. And then teaching experience is the maximum is 15 points. So every month is given a point. So that is why there are teachers who accepted or who are willing to provide volunteers teaching services to schools even without allowance, even without financial remuneration, just to earn this teaching experience point because this is really very hard to earn. Okay, so that is why, and I am quite sad with this reality. Actually, I am quite sad. Really, I am really quite sad with this reality because there are also schools, private schools in the Philippines who are, using this need for teacher applicant um, requirement for teaching experience for their benefits. Okay, so I am appealing to the owners of private schools, especially small private schools. If you cannot provide for a salary, please provide allowances for our teacher volunteers because they would be spending money for their food, for their teaching resources, for their fare, going back and forth to the school. Okay, so teaching experience. So for new teachers, if you want to earn these points for the teaching experience, you really have to have a teaching experience. So even if the salary from a small private school is really low compared to the big private schools and in the public schools, better accept it to earn the teaching experience. Napakahirap i-earn tong teaching experience. Kaya kailangan mo talaga ng teaching experience. And then next is the LET or the PIVOT rating, which is worth 15 points. I am talking about the criteria in the basic education for elementary and secondary, not including the senior high school. So the LET PBET rating is worth 15 points. The higher the rating, the higher the points. That's it. That is why, if you would say, it's okay for me, okay na sa akin na makakuha ng 75, yun lang yung hinihingi ng government. It's really a wrong concept. Because if you earn just 75, you earn only the minimum points. There was even a time in the past that 75 earned nothing, as in zero. Only the excess points of the 75 basic requirement is given extra points. Okay? So strive hard, study hard to earn more than 75 rating. If you can get 90 and above, wow, perfect. You will get the maximum of 15. Then specialized training and skills, worth 10 points. So specialized training and skills is worth 10 points, and you can earn this by presenting a TESDA certificate NC2, and in some cases, especially in the senior high, NC3. Okay, so see to it that your specialized training and skill certificate is not expired. And some division would require or would demand demonstration of this training and skills. Okay, even last school year 2018-2019, there was even a situation wherein nagdala talaga ng kasi tawag galing na March ka ng lutuanan, oven. Oven, malaking oven yung applicant because yung skill na ipapakita niya is baking. Okay, so she was really oven, tapos electric oven lang naman. Di na siya nagdala ng tangke ng gasol. And then interview. Okay, so interview is worth 10 points. And interview is, very common in a usual process when you're applying for a job. But in some cases, ito yung downfall ng many applicants. The communicative skills and the psychological side ng interview. Yung iba hindi makasagot, yung iba iiyak, yung iba very anxious. So, dapat itong interview kasi you can prepare for this. Okay, so you have to attack this interview with a personality that is, confident but not cocky or overconfident, assertive but not bastos. Okay, just present a side na you can easily work with others. Yes, I am. This is something that I am very good or excellent at. In almost all interviews that I experience, I always got a perfect score. If it's 10, it's 10 over 10 or 20 over 20. Maraming tips dito eh.